lot of people don't take wholesalers seriously until they've established a long history of consistent performance of deals. Wholesalers, they come and go, and they put a lot of bad deals under contract and have to cancel out.
Is there something that you're doing to gain that trust?
I feel like I already fought that fight. So I have a couple of companies, but a consulting firm, Creative TC, has more 5-star reviews than any title company in the state of Colorado has reviews at all. I looked it up. Somebody please tell me if you find otherwise, but I can't find a single title company with as many reviews as I have 5-star reviews. So I've got a track record I can point to and say, this is what we do. This is who we are. This is what I need you to do so that we can succeed with you. Face-to-face is king. Voice and video are a distant second. Text and email are just for following up on something you already established under a better form of communication. That level of communication has drastically improved the experience for my customers. That's why I have 5-star reviews.
Have you ever walked into a real estate event where every single vendor looked exactly the same? Same banners, same taglines, same "we care about you" expression. And it feels like a science experiment that forgot about the real people part. And then out of nowhere, you see this booth with color, energy, personality, and a dude who looked like he didn't get the memo that title companies are supposed to be boring. That moment is a moment that we don't experience enough. In a world of copy-paste professionals, especially a copy-paste AI world, creativity isn't a luxury, it's a survival strategy. And that brings us to today's guest. Caleb Christopher is the force behind Creative Title, Creative TC, and other companies, proving that you don't have to be loud to be unforgettable. You just need to be real. He's built a brand on connection, communities that respond, and a presence that feels less like business and more like belonging. Caleb, my friend, welcome to the show. So glad you're here.
Thank you. How do I follow an intro like that? That's the most incredible intro I've ever had.
Well, listen, we want to make you feel at home. We want to make you feel good. And that's going to prompt a great interview. I know it is. I'm excited, man.
Well done.
Excellent. Well, listen, let's jump into the backstory of this. I'm always interested in what got people to that space. I know that you just did not wake up one morning graduating out of high school and say, you know what? I want to start a title company. What's that short story for us, man?
I woke up out of high school saying I want to start a family is what happened. Since I was 19, I wanted to start a family. So thank you. God blessed me. I've got 4 children and a lovely wife. And
love it.
I couldn't be wealthier in any other way. So I've had the privilege of starting a title company recently that follows me starting a real estate consulting company 3.5 years ago, establishing our brand and our name for safe, legal, and ethical real estate deals. But, a lot of people are like, you can't do that. But my approach is, but if we could, how would we?
Yeah.
And there's the creative aspect.
Yeah. So before I lean into the creative, you've got this paradox here that you seem to live in the middle of. You've got creativity, and yet you've got this tech geek nerd part of you where if I go to your website, I see the word or the acronym. Not many people even remember this, DOS. I mean, tell us, how does a creative guy get locked into some of this tech stuff? Tell us about where that interest comes from.
So, DOS, good grief. You mean due on sale DOS, not the other one, right? Not Microsoft DOS, yeah. So I grew up on computers just playing with file systems. And so I had the nerdy side from age 5, just understanding computer systems before there was a graphic interface. So just folder, subfolder, navigate. But today DOS stands for due on sale, which happens with Sub2 and some creative finance transactions. But it's the big scary thing in a creative finance transaction, and I've defeated it effectively. So we're there. We're helping do these deals. We're helping defeat the due on sale clause, and now I've got a title company that runs these transactions. But it's all about having the can-do attitude with respect for laws and other things like that. I want to be safe, legal, and ethical. But there's almost always a way to get something done. And sometimes it's asking forgiveness rather than permission. And I'm okay pushing those boundaries a little bit as long as we're not crossing the line into actually something illegal.
Yeah, and I love that you say that because it really leans into the question that was already in my brain. When you run into somebody in the finance world and they say, "Yeah, let's get a little creative with that," you kind of turn your head to the side a little bit and wonder which path are
Yep,
we going
I
to go
do,
down.
because I got to disqualify a lot of customers too, because they come to me with these cooked up ideas, and I'm like, "That's very
Yeah,
clever. It's neither safe nor ethical, though, or it's neither legal nor ethical. So sorry, I can't help with that."
yeah. So where did you get the idea? I know we were talking a little bit backstage before the show began about maybe the mundane or boring nature of some of what is the title world or what real estate investment does. How did you decide that you wanted to bring a different type of vibe to this space?
You ever do something? You ever listen to a book at 2x speed?
Yes.
And okay, and then you go back to watching TV or anything else, and it's like it is so slow. All right, that's me with creative finance. It's fast paced. Everything's new every single day. Nothing the same. We establish principles and guidelines, but a checklist that's pretty much out the window because it changes on the fly based on the transaction. So that's my fast paced dynamic environment every day. And I'm dealing with title companies because I'm attached to everybody's transactions as a consultant,
Mhm.
helping them make sure stuff gets done. I'm helping the title company get things done the right way. I've got documents we contribute to the transaction to make it safe, legal, and ethical. And I keep seeing communication breakdowns with title companies. And I've had to learn to be a strong influencer because, for example, I'm helping with your deal. It's not my deal. I can't actually put my foot down. I can
Yeah.
help, I can communicate effectively and push things along, but I'm seeing title companies lag and slow down, et cetera. And now I'm stepping into this title company lane. And it's like, whoo, there's a lot of room to speed things up and improve things because I'm coming from the 2x speed down to the 1x. And I'm like, whoa, we can do a lot better than this. This is great.
Yeah.
It's a market of mediocrity and a lot of room for improvement and focused on the customer experience. That's what it's all about. Because if you don't have a good time, then the whole transaction, you, me, your cousin, your realtor, everybody involved is like, ugh,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's lean into maybe examples of what does that actually look like for you. So in the real estate industry, of course, it's built on relationship, and
Yeah.
yet there are so many parts of it that are just data numbers driven, and people forget about the relationships. When you're talking about communication and connection inside of this, what are some specific things that you are doing differently than everybody else in this space?
For example, a wholesaler.
Hmm.
A lot of a lot of people don't take wholesalers seriously until they've established a long history of consistent performance of deals.
Yeah.
Wholesalers, they come and go, and they put a lot of bad deals under contract and have to cancel out. So a title company a lot of times won't even respect a wholesaler or run the title search or any of these things until they've assigned the contract, and it's like 2 days before closing, and then it results in delays because they didn't do the due diligence on the front end.
Yeah.
I understand the title company side because typically they do this work, this effort and expense, and then a lot of times the deal falls apart. So I get that. So their solution is just don't do anything till the last week of the file. Meanwhile, the wholesaler could be like, hey, this deal could fall apart if we don't have accurate information on the front end. But they cannot get the title company to move. And I'm like, how do we bridge both sides of that equation? Well, how about if you bring earnest money and or you pay for the title search independently? I'll credit it towards your closing, but I'll do it immediately. That
Wow.
that gets you the fast results and gets me the security of not throwing money away on something that might not close. Very
Yeah.
simple solution. It's just one after another of that sort of thing. Like, how do I improve that user experience for
Mhm.
the buyer, the seller, the wholesaler, the agent?
Do you find that even with that type of solutioning, that you still have to do something to leverage or to gain the trust of especially newer people in the industry? What is that like? Is there something that you're doing to gain that trust?
I feel like I already fought that fight. So I have
Okay.
a couple of companies, but a consulting firm, Creative TC, has more 5-star reviews than any title company in the state of Colorado has reviews
Mhm.
at all. I looked it up. Somebody please tell me if you find otherwise, but I can't find a single title company with as many reviews as I have 5-star reviews.
Mhm.
So I've got a record I can point to and say, this is what we do. This is who we are. Uh, this is what I need you to do so that we can succeed with you or help you succeed. So I've put in that work and shown that reputation.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's go to the other side for a second. You're doing great work. You're creating connections. You're offering creative solutions. Tell me a little bit about a time where you operated in that same paradigm and you still had some challenge with with the transaction. What was something
Sure.
that went wrong for you?
Particularly in a creative finance transaction, a buyer and seller, think of a seller finance deal or a deal
Hmm.
where, for those who don't know, a sub two deal is where if I buy Robert's house, his loan stays in place and I get the deed. Well, that's a
Yeah,
long term relationship we're setting up, right? There's a lot of things to discuss. Should we do it this way, that way? Are you aware that your credit is still tied to this loan if I don't make payments? And so, as those things unfold, as we actually go through those things, because I'm big on being ethical, which means everybody needs to understand what's going on in this deal or it's not a deal.
yeah,
I've run into some relationships where the wholesalers want to drop that paperwork on closing day instead of upfront, or the investor buyer, whoever that is. And I'm like, no, that's not okay. As early as possible, we need to get this done. You can do it or I can do it. And if the deal falls apart, it falls apart. So I've had some
yeah.
fallout from that, but I'm happy to stand on my soapbox for that.
I love it. Love it. Love it. So you talked a little bit about customer experience. What would you say are some of the top two or three things that you are looking for or that you are looking to create in the experience of a customer?
You shouldn't have to ask me questions. I think back to an old boss of mine. Um, Thank you, Paul, for your wisdom. He said, "Caleb, I'm going to tell you this because you take criticism well." I was the director of IT at the time. He
Yeah.
said, "If I have to ask you a question, you've probably already failed to communicate with me."
Mm,
Fair enough. So I meditated on that for a long time, and I've let that affect a lot of the way I do things. And so if I'm working a deal with you, it's my duty as the service provider to find out your preference, your preferred means of communication, your frequency. I need to get a feel for you. That means I need to pick up the phone and talk to you so you can catch
yeah.
my tonality. I can catch your tonality. I need to understand your persona, your profile, and study that stuff inside the business to say, okay, Robert's one of these types of guys. He likes text messages. We don't bother him except, end of the day summaries. He wants those twice a week. It's my job to know that sort of thing and when to call, when to escalate to a call, and when just to process emails. But it's also the format of an email, which I train my team on. Bluff, bottom line up front. You start with
Yeah.
a bold, hey, here's the punchline. We're starting with the punchline. Then we give details for the people that like to read, and we give a witness. What is the next step? And that's
Yeah.
who's doing what, when, and that's the next step. That level of communication has drastically improved the experience for my customers. That's why I have 5-star reviews.
I love it. I love it. So it seems in everything that you're talking about here, you're talking about your reviews, you're talking about your processes
Yep.
that you follow, and you're talking about some of the pieces, the communication pieces that are important to you. And for people who haven't gotten it yet, all of those are elements
Yeah.
of a brand
Yep.
and the way that you're operating. So when you think about branding, you're doing branding during the transaction, but as you think about the marketing side of things for you, what what are you considering? What is important to you in that branding space?
That's a really good question. I just hired a marketing strategist
Mhm.
to assist with that. I've got a fuzzy vision as the company founder, the CEO, whatever you want to call me, the visionary. I've got a
Yeah.
fuzzy vision for that. And mostly I'm looking backward and saying, I've done what my vision is. I
Yeah.
don't know how to cast it forward or how to market that forward other than saying, look at my reviews. So that's actually an active challenge for me is how do
Yeah.
I put that into something that we do? But like you said, building a brand also includes the people. And so I don't want to take all the credit because it's just my vision, but I have incredibly smart, thoughtful people. And I think the best job that I've done is to not tolerate those who are not aligned with our vision. That way we have this
Yeah.
purity of vision and alignment within the team and execution is consistent. And that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing.
Yeah. So if somebody is, I would say, new in the space and wants to work for you, wants to work for Caleb or to be, what are some things that you're looking for inside of that? And I'm still kind of hammering the brand
Yeah.
question in a little bit.
It comes down to, you ever read the book Traction by Gino Wickman?
Yeah, yeah. I haven't read it in full, but yes, I have read some of it.
I've gone through it several times. One time I was going through and they've got the core values section, and their recommendation is to evaluate people against core values. There's not much else
Mhm.
you need to evaluate, because if your
Yeah.
core values truly embody what it is you want to do and how you want to do it, then are people aligned or not? Period. End of story. So we've actually adopted that. And I spent 2 weeks agonizing over, what do I like about certain people? What do I dislike? When I don't like something that somebody did, or I don't like a person that has worked with or for us, what is it about that? And I came down to 5 core values: take initiative and be resourceful.
Hmm.
That it spells table. Advocate for the client. I want strong client advocacy. You have to be able to put yourself in that person's shoes. So if you're looking to work for me, it's understanding and aligning with these things. Take initiative and be resourceful. Advocate for the client. Be relatable. That means you find a way to communicate that's effective with the person you're working with. Lead with value. We don't wait to be given value first. We're the first ones to bring it to the table. And exhibit attention to detail.
Love it.
Those things are all critical to be on the team.
I was watching a video the other day, about an old video about the Dabawalas, and it's people in India
Okay.
that they're like the lunchbox men. There's this business that they have. They take lunch boxes from one place to the other, and it is precise. They make more than 1 million deliveries per month, and they have an average of about 4 mistakes
Wow.
per month. Right,
Wow.
and it's crazy. So in asking them about their success and how they have such a high success rate, one of the things that they said was that they fire bad customers. if you're if you're not a great customer, they don't keep you on. So do you have anything like that in how you operate? How do you size up what is a good customer from what is not a good customer in your business?
It's not a whole black and white thing. And I've told my team this. You
Yeah,
have the power to say no to a customer. I hired you because I trust you. I
yeah,
expect and understand that you're an adult, and I expect that you're using good judgment to execute our shared values. And so if that
yeah,
means breaking off relationship to a customer, you can do that. Typically that's going to involve some internal escalation first, but if there's a hard break line, I will support you over the customer. Period. End of story. We serve customers, but we are a team.
yeah, yeah. I
So
love
we,
I love that, and I'm asking that because, again, of the customer service or the
yeah.
customer experience um, situation, or the customer experience. So let's begin to land the plane here. As you think about your company and a customer working with you all, what is the feeling that you want them to walk away with, and how do you create that? You talked about your reviews,
Mm,
and I can only surmise that that is not accidental, that there's
no.
intention in that. What is the feeling that you're sharing with your company? Oh my gosh, we've got to do this because we want them to walk away feeling like this.
I want them to feel any variation of, I had no idea that I hadn't considered that before, and they stepped
Mm,
in and helped me get it done. Right? The level of professionalism, they just got stuff done. They didn't delay. They were forward with helpful supplemental, not advice, because I don't want to say advice and get under legal scrutiny there. But they brought extra guidance to the table. That I wasn't a checklist item. My outcomes were their outcomes.
yeah,
That's what I want a customer to say. My intended outcomes were their intended outcomes. They made it their goal to make my outcome come true.
I love it. So let me ask you the reverse question. Is there anything about customer experience that I should have asked you
Mm.
that I did not ask today that you really want us to know?
I teach my team this. It has
Yeah,
to do with like the methods of communication. Face to face is king. Voice and video are a distant second. Text and email are just for following up on something you already established. under a better form of communication.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially, man, especially now. I'm supposed to be landing the plane, but I got to get up on a soapbox for just a second. Especially now where we've got so much AI
Yeah.
and we've got so many different uh avatars, etc. I said to someone the other day that, my God, if you are below the age of 10 right now, you're growing up in a world where, especially online, you are going to be hard pressed to tell what's real from what's not. And so I love that you're talking about face to face. We've got to keep human connection alive because it's going to be the main way, or maybe the only way, that we're able to maintain authentic connection. Thank you for that, Caleb.
Very good.
All right. Where can people touch bases with you? We mentioned your sites, creative .io, not creative.io. You tell us the sites. I don't want to mess it up.
The home base, if you're after me, is calebchristopher.io. And I've got a newsletter where I actually share my business and real estate portfolio financials, the goods and the bads, just so you guys can see that. No guru talk. But from calebchristopher.io, we've got Creative TC. You can visit all the companies that I own. Creative TC, DosGuard, Creative Title Company. That's about it for now, but there's more to come. I'm a serial entrepreneur.
I love it. Fantastic. This has been fun. Listen, everybody, you want to make a difference in business. Your brand is important. You want to make connection with people. Highlighting and prioritizing their experience is essential. Do your best. We'll see you next time.